What are your thoughts on the early games in Florida and Toronto?
From the Panthers standpoint, it's they've they're fierce right now, right?
Yeah.
Like their forecheck, their pressure game. I mean, they're kind of getting back to a little bit of hockey 101, and it's all about forecheck. And we're seeing the same thing in the Western Conference with Seattle as far as just kind of just disrupting things by just everybody being on the same page and around that forecheck. I mean, the game's changed in a lot of ways, but a good hard forecheck where everyone's connected, it can do a lot of damage and create some turnovers. So I got to give them a ton of credit. I think they've been playing a great blend of hockey that we've seen over the last number of weeks. But from the Toronto standpoint, like I get it. It's bad going down 0-2, going to South Florida. I don't find it to be all doom and gloom. A lot of these things, and especially in Game 2 yesterday, like these are controllable things. Their puck management's got to be better. And it's just they're getting chances. I mean, I don't think that if you're we always talk about it in hockey, right? Like if you're not getting the chances, that's when you're concerned. If that's individually or collectively, they're getting chances. I mean, they're still a great skilled team that can turn things around. I think they do in this series. I don't see this to at some point they're going to break through offensively, but they got to stop shooting themselves in the foot, And I find that the game management has been a little bit of an issue so far in this series.
Yeah, it's probably the number one thing, Rupper. And to me, the Florida Panthers are just the perfect, exemplification, that's a big word for me there, of momentum in the playoffs. It's just the way that they're rolling right now to them, and the way they're talking in post-game media scrums, and the way they're talking in pregame stuff, and the way they play on the ice, they just kind of feel like they don't think anything can go wrong for them right now. Do you feel that with them too?
Yeah, and it kind of gives me a little bit of PTSD with back in my career with 2012 when I was at the Rangers. And all season long, we were a top-end team. We were battling out with Van for the President's Trophy, and we played New Jersey in the Eastern Conference Finals. And for 7 months, I mean, we were absolutely by far a better team than them. But at that juncture of the season, in the playoffs, they just were rolling. And on playoff hockey, it's weird because players we see individually that aren't probably someone that would maybe, I don't know, scare you as far as the lineup goes with really kind of hurting you in the way they play, with just even offensively or anyway, right? Like you don't pay attention to certain players. And all of a sudden, this player is like a factor every shift, every game. And it's just when teams get rolling like that, it's dangerous. And again, use those same words I used before, connected, united. Everything they're doing it just kind of rolls. And it's like, what the shift's going to look like before you get out there. And that's playoff hockey. That's whenever we see some of these Cinderella, I guess, stories, it's stuff like that. So, it just seems like they've kind of they're playing the right brand of hockey at the right time, just like the Devils did back in 2012. And it's tough, but it's not unbreakable. I think that it's just you got to make sure that you're not giving them any free passes. They got to earn everything. And at the end of the day, if you lose to that, it still stings, but at least you can kind of tip your cap to that. But I think sometimes the frustration sets in. Like you sit there and think, well, we know we're better than them. And then you start getting out of character a little bit. You start overstretching yourself, and I think that's the slippery slope this Leafs team is going to have to deal with.